For today's cup of coffee, we've got some really, really funky planetary alignments. We've got a new moon coming up on the 4th. Mm-hmm. Not a good time to start any new ventures. Leo King is warning about the next 5 months. Yeah. So
does that mean I cannot sell stuff on eBay?
I don't know that it means that necessarily.
You said no new ventures, so
right. I mean,
is that not a new
that's
venture?
New moon.
Okay.
So it's a matter of, usually that's a time to reflect, different things like that. And it has to do with more than just the moon. It has to do with all this other stuff.
Uh-huh.
If you're not familiar with David Palmer, the Leo King, he has, it's like, what is it, High Vibe?
Yeah.
And it's not a ridiculous price. Mm-hmm. For me, it's an investment each and every day.
Where this is not sponsored, by the way.
Oh, no. No, but I have, that boy has gotten me through some really rough times since 2013. So,
yeah.
You know, if anyone wonders where I get some of my information from, it's him. I mean, I watch other people, but no, he's the go-to guy.
Yep.
So, Kid has just reduced the height of the saddle chair from 3 foot down to the normal.
It's not normal. It's ground level. My ass is dragging now. There's a spider.
Everybody's
dangling from your bag.
Where?
Your bag.
Oh. Well, I'll be. It is, isn't it?
Yes.
Let's see. Did I get it? I don't think I did.
I think you just rubbed it on the blanket.
Oh, well. I hope it wasn't a black widow.
Well,
we've been having problems with black widows.
Lift up that side and
It is. And it ran.
Yep. Did you get it that time?
I did.
What was it?
I don't know. What is it now? It's a smear. But, see, you get live action stuff with us. Well, it's recorded live action.
Yeah, it's pre-recorded stuff day before.
So we had to carry in the plants because we're supposed to have temperatures in the 20s starting tonight. And yeah, we're thrilled about that. So we're hoping that we have not carried in a tremendous amount of spiders.
I think we have.
Well, yeah. Anyhow.
Bug spray is a best friend.
It can be, but I hate to use that around the cats. I hate to use it around us. We don't need, neither of us need to.
Don't lick it.
Yeah, but if you're breathing, it's the same thing. It is. It really is.
Okay.
So for today's cup of coffee, after all that, we have some very interesting obituaries.
Nice. I can't stop yawning. I'm so tired today.
And so, you know, a lot of people, when they think of obituary, it can be, you know, just the condolences. This person was born at this time. They died at this time. These are the people that preceded them in death. These are the people that are left alive. Mm-hmm. Then there are those kind, as far as, and especially with eulogies. Now, these are just the announcements, the obituaries.
Well, I have that book of famous celebrity autopsies or something like that.
I think it'd be interesting. We could talk about that one day.
Yeah.
But there are some people that they take the eulogy instead of remembering the person. They think that that is their platform to grandstand.
Yeah, they think that it's that time, and it's not.
No, that is not.
It's like,
their
Linda,
time.
sit down.
That is not their time
Sit
for
down.
the limelight to shine upon them.
Yeah, sit down, Linda. Sit down, Richard. It's not y'all's time to shine.
There have been people that you're sitting there going, you really wanted to become violent with them, either before, during, or after the services.
Mm-hmm. We've had those.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's just like my father, as far as him being a very simple man, as far as what he wanted done for him. Mm-hmm. And he wanted a graveside service. I think, well, now that he did have a viewing, but as far as not wanting a funeral.
From what I remember, it was only a viewing, and it was like graveside.
Right. It's supposed to be.
And that was it. No one did a eulogy, whatever.
Oh, but they did.
They did?
Oh,
I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Say
that was my uncle.
Tell us.
No,
tell
it
us
was
that.
one of those that everybody was looking at me because I started fidgeting. I started sitting upright, very upright. They knew that I was getting upset because all my father wanted was a few words spoken, and that was it. Because when somebody's dead, the time for talking's over.
Which one was it? Which uncle was it?
I am not going to put that on the internet. I will tell you later. And so, yeah,
not fair
don't
to
do
the
that.
people out there.
They don't know this. They don't know these people.
But since you were talking about it, like...
They were not going to know relatives that did that. And if they do know the relatives that did that,
I don't care. That's like my friends telling me who, like, if someone did something about I don't know of, and then not telling me. It's like, I don't care. I want to know what they did.
I told you what they did. It doesn't matter that the name was. It doesn't matter. Anyhow, so we have those kind of people. But now, when you put an obituary in the paper, I think you have to pay by the word. And some of those can run into some monies. So, and
like,
especially in this day and time, that is crazy. They used to put those in the paper for free.
Didn't you find something recently that was like they did like a eulogy or whatever about some grandmother and something? And it was a very negative one. Like, she will not be missed.
Yeah, that was what put me down this rabbit hole. And it was, but the website that it was on, I don't support that. I don't support fake news. But they said it was an 80-year-old woman and that she had died. And honestly, they said she will not be missed. And I thought, God, that's horrible. It was true, I'm sure, but it was still kind of, that's more blunt than I am usually.
Yeah.
Or not. So, I've got my coffee.
She's got her coffee.
I do.
Coffee.
It helps me sleep. Some of these are really good. These people have honored these people in more ways than one.
Yeah.
This first one is just a total and complete mystery.
Okay.
For real. And this was Rick Stein, and from the Chandler Funeral Home and Crematorium in Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. And it says Rick Stein, 71, of Wilmington, was reported missing and presumed dead on September the 27th, 2018, when investigators say the single-engine plane he was piloting, the Northrop, suddenly lost communication with air traffic control and disappeared over the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Rehoboth Beach. Philadelphia police confirmed Stein had been a patient at Thomas Jefferson University, where he was being treated for a rare form of cancer. Hospital spokesman Walter Heisenberg says doctors from Stein's surgical team went to visit him on rounds when they discovered his room was empty. Security footage shows Stein leaving the building at approximately 3:30 Thursday afternoon, but then the video feed mysteriously cuts off. Authorities say they believe Stein took an Uber to the Philadelphia airport, where they assumed he somehow gained access to the aircraft.
Okay.
The sea was angry that day, the NTSB lead investigator Greg Fields said in a press conference. We have no idea where Mr. Stein may be, but any hope for a rescue is unlikely.
All right.
Stein's location isn't the only mystery. It seems no one in his life knew his exact occupation. His daughter of Wilmington appeared shocked by the news. My dad couldn't even fly a plane. He owned restaurants in Boulder, Colorado, and knew every answer on Jeopardy. He did the New York Times crossword in pen. I talked to him that day, and he told me he was going out to get some grappa. I assume that's a wine.
Yeah.
All he ever wanted was a glass of grappa. Stein's brother, Jim, echoed a similar confusion. Rick and I owned Stuart Kingston Galleries together. He was a jeweler and Oriental rug dealer, not a pilot. Meanwhile, Messel of Charlottesville claimed her brother was a cartoonist and freelance television critic for the New Yorker.
So he was a jack of all trades? What?
David Walsh, Stein's son-in-law, said he was certain Stein was a political satirist for the Huffington Post, while Grandsons Drake and Sam said they believed Stein wrote an internet sports column for ESPN covering Duke basketball, FC Barcelona soccer, the Denver Broncos, and the Tour de France. Stein's granddaughter, Evangeline, claims he was a YouTube sensation who had just signed a 7-figure deal with Netflix.
Oh, come on.
When told of his uncle's disappearance, Edward said he was baffled since he believed Stein worked as a trail guide in Rocky Mountain National Park. He took me on a hike up the Lily Peak Trail back in the 90s. He knew every berry, bush, and tree on that trail. Nephew James of Los Angeles claimed his uncle was an A&R consultant for Bad Boy Records and ran a chain of legal recreational marijuana dispensaries in Colorado called Casablanca.
Oh my God.
The niece, a former Hollywood agent, said her uncle had worked as a contributing writer for Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm and was currently consulting on a new series with Larry David. People who knew Stein have reported his occupation as everything from gourmet chef and sommelier to botanist, electrician, mechanic, and even spy novelist. Police say the volume of contradictory information will make it nearly impossible to pinpoint Stein's exact location. In fact, the only person who might be able to answer the question is the real Rick Stein. Who is the real Rick Stein is his wife and constant companion for the past 14 years, Susan. Detectives say they were unable to interview Miss Stein, however. Neighbors say they witnessed her leaving the home the couple shared wearing dark sunglasses and a fedora, loading multiple suitcases into her car. FAA records show she purchased a pair of one-way tickets to Rome, which was Mr. Stein's favorite city. An anonymous source with the airline reports the name used to book the other ticket was Juan Moorfield de Brode, which, according to the FBI, was an alias Stein used for many years.
Oh my God.
That is one story. Another story is that Rick never left the hospital and died peacefully with his wife and his daughter holding tightly to his hands. You can choose whichever version you want to believe or share your own story about Rick at the Greenville Country Club. This was odd. Friday, November the 9th, or at the Hotel Bolorado on Thursday, November 29th.
What?
So, what do we believe? Do we believe that all this was this amazing writing and that the final sentence was actually what happened to Mr. Stein?
Uh-huh.
That's what I figure. But what a brilliant creation that was. And what a great tribute to him. Then we have Danny Lloyd, who was from Lexington, North Carolina. And his birth was September 13th, 1953, and his death was April 25th, 2018. And it's Danny Lloyd, a.k.a. Rooster, a.k.a. Winston, a.k.a. Pizza Pop, passed away on April 25th at the age of 64. Quote, to avoid having to pay taxes for the past year and to avoid another year of his New York Yankees not winning the World Series, unquote.
Oh my God.
He was a generous man, giving away many of his possessions in the months before he died. He even left his car to 12 different friends, depending upon who visited him last. He was a lifelong ticket scalper and broker, or as he called it, a facilitator of supply-demand economics. Once when asked about any regrets from his ticket sales, Danny confessed, quote, there was that time I told a Carolina fan that he needed to buy my ticket immediately if he wanted to hear Dean Smith sing the national anthem, end quote.
Oh my God.
Danny was cremated for 2 reasons. There could be no viewing since his family refused to honor his request to have him standing in the corner of the room with a sign saying buying tickets in one hand and in his other hand a sign saying selling tickets so that he would appear natural and lifelike to his visitors. Because his brother played football for Wake Forest University, Danny was a lifelong Demon Deacon fan, and he had respectfully requested 6 Wake Forest pallbearers so that the Deeks could let him down one last time. Danny has informed Hampton Inn that they can finally reinstate their pledge to not charge anyone who is not 100% satisfied, as he will no longer be staying there. For those attending the memorial service, please ignore Danny's scalper friends who might be offering to upgrade your seat for a small price. To any crooks reading this, none of our family and friends attending this service have anything of value. Remember, he gave his car to a dozen of us, and one of his sons is Chris County Lloyd, so it is certainly not worth the risk. Danny Lloyd loved his siblings a little bit, and his children even more. But those grandkids, they stole his heart. They were the reason he lived his final 4 years with a sober mind and a giving heart. We loved him, and we already miss him.
I like that.
How cool is that?
That is cool as hell.
Yeah. So, anyhow, then we move on to Philip Dayton Thorpe, and he was at Holbrook Mortuary, and that's in Salt Lake, Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. And it begins with a quote, "I told you this would happen." Philip Dayton Thorpe, born in Salt Lake City, April the 1st, 1934, to Ward and Phyllis Dayton Thorpe, whose birth probably marked the beginning of April Fool's Day, died April the 10th, 2018, from causes relating to lifelong obesity and sleeping standing up. His grave marker will read, "This corpse is Phil Thorpe's." Claude, as he was called even by those who knew his name, lived such a boring life that watching paint dry caused him to hyperventilate.
Oh my God.
His accomplishments will be published at a later date, if any are discovered. He served as a military officer in the U.S. Army. Canada wouldn't take him because, so they said, they don't go to war much up there. He served 3 missions for the LDS, which is the Latter-day Saints Church, but they stopped sending him because he always came back. He picked up 3 university degrees along the way, 2 of which he had to return. He was superseded in death by several billion people and is survived by his beloved wife of 55 years, Linda. She knew that she had married way beneath herself as they honeymooned at the SL County landfill. She gave him 6 wonderful children, one at a time. They in turn provided 7 grandchildren, along with 7 step-grandchildren and 5 step-great-grandchildren.
Dear Lord.
And in keeping with one of society's morbid mores, there will be a wee wake Sunday evening for 20 minutes and for 6 minutes before the funeral the following day. The price of admission to each of these events is 1 can of food for his wife, to whom he left nearly nothing. Burial will be in his backyard beside the dog his wife would never let him have. Please don't send flowers. If you have a rush of generosity, then please give to your favorite charity. Tell them Phil sent you. It says, the above was composed by our beloved Philip in his classic self-deprecating, hilarious fashion. We extend a heartfelt invitation to his friends, family, and missionaries to the funeral services. So he had written that himself.
That is so cool.
Isn't that neat? I mean, wouldn't you rather do that than have somebody write something stupid and maudlin that you would never have wanted to, it's like, she was here, she lived, she died. That's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it was. This is William Ziegler, and this was at Katy Funeral Home in Katy, Texas. And William Ziegler escaped this mortal realm on Friday, July 29th, 2016, at the age of 69. We did think he did it on purpose to avoid having to make a decision in the pending presidential election. He leaves behind 4 children, 5 grandchildren, and the potted meat industry, for which he was an unofficial spokesman until dietary restrictions forced him to eat real food. William volunteered for service in the United States Navy at the ripe old age of 17 and immediately realized he didn't much enjoy being bossed around. He only stuck it out for 1 war. Before his discharge, however, the government exchanged numerous ribbons and medals for various honorable acts. Upon his return to the city of New Orleans in 1971, thinking it best to keep an eye on him, government officials hired William as a fireman. After 25 years, he suddenly realized that running away from burning buildings made more sense than running toward them. He promptly retired. Looking back, William stated that there was no better group of morons and mental patients than those he had had the privilege of serving with. Except Bob. He never liked you, Bob. Following his wishes, there will be a service, but well-wishers are encouraged to write a note of farewell on a Schaefer Light beer can and drink it in his honor.
My God.
He was never one for sentiment or religiosity, but he wanted you to know that if he owes you a beer and if you can find him in heaven, he will gladly allow you to buy him another. He can likely be found forwarding tasteless internet jokes. Check your spam folder, but don't open these at work. Expect to find an alcoholic dog named Judge passed out at his feet. Unlike previous times, this is not a ploy to avoid creditors or old girlfriends. He assures us that he is gone. He will be greatly missed. These
are hilarious.
And the thing is,
them.
I got these off of legacy.com, which, they handle basically all the internet obituaries. Mm-hmm. And so they had picked some of the really good ones. And this one is the last one I'm going to read today because it is just amazing in multiple ways.
Yeah.
And this was for Jan Lois Lynch, and she was from 1943 until 2018. Jan Lois Lynch of Evansville, Indiana, and native of Boston, Massachusetts, passed away on October 18, 2018. Her sudden and untimely death came as quite a shock as she was only diagnosed with advanced COPD, advanced emphysema, advanced heart disease, cystic fibrosis, chronic bronchitis, stroke, extreme stubbornness, restless leg syndrome, and armchair quarterback. Jan is survived by her 4 loving sons and 8 grandchildren whom she loved more than anything else in the world. Except the New England Patriots, the Boston Red Sox, Tom Brady, cold Budweiser, room temperature Budweiser, cigarettes, dogs, mopeds, clam chowder, boating, fishing, Florida, the Atlantic Ocean, grouper sandwiches, adventures, road trips, the beach, Sunday night football, Monday night football, fall foliage, airplane food, ingrown toenails, the O.J. chase, and the O.J. trial in that exact order. Jan graduated from the University of Evansville with a degree in English literature, achieving magna cum laude honors while working 2 to 3 jobs and raising her 4 sons, one of whom turned out okay. It's still unclear who her favorite son was, thus the final ruling must be litigated in family court or at a bar. Jen will be missed dearly by all who knew her. She was an incredible woman. She had an unparalleled zest for life and an infectious laugh that thankfully was passed down to her sons and their children. From standing on a bridge in the middle of a hurricane to jumping off the highest cliffs at Rough River to dangling her feet over a 5,000-foot cliff at the edge of the Grand Canyon so she could, quote, see what it felt like to feel fear, end quote. She taught us all that the really good things in life are beyond, they do not enter signs. She always put her children first. Her selflessness was beyond reproach. She will live on in our hearts, minds, thoughts, prayers, and laughs forever. Following her wishes, there will not be a funeral service. However, well-wishers are encouraged to write a note of farewell on a Budweiser can and drink it in her honor. And remember to live life to the fullest and laugh, and then laugh some more. And says the family would like to express a special and sincere thanks to Teresa, Dana, and Ashley with the Deaconess VNA Home Care and Hospice for their passion, dedication, and patience. These would have been tremendous people to know.
Yeah.
And I thank them and their families for leaving these things up so that they could be shared with others.
Uh-huh.
And even if we didn't know these people, our lives have been enriched by the writings that their loved ones, and that one guy that he wrote himself.
Yeah. That
He
is
was
pretty
prepared.
awesome.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, somebody out there gonna be writing something. Maybe everybody should have the little something that's like, just in case.
I'm gonna write you the most odd eulogy thing you will ever.
I'm gonna be in the backyard. There ain't nobody gonna be sitting there except
I know.
probably you and the cats. That's about it. And that's okay.
Still, I will make sure that you have the most weird ass
Well, that would be all right.
eulogy.
That'd
but
be all
funny.
right. And you could put on there, subscribe. Orlando's Cup of Coffee.
yeah.
It's free.
Mom and her damn cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's exactly what you could do. Raise a cup of coffee to me. And it's like, I don't know, I think people hold on to this world too tightly, which is another reason we talk about the ones that are outside of this one and the ones that are parallel to this one. Mm-hmm. So all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But I thought that it would be good to share a little bit of, I don't know that that's morbid humor, because we always celebrate
that's not.
people's lives.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm weird about that. If somebody doesn't come to see me while I'm alive, I sure as hell don't want them looking down on me when I'm dead. Yep. Of course, that whole 24-hour winding sheet, throw me in a call, that's it. It's simple. It's simple. It's effective. It's efficient.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mom and her
practical.
simplicity. There you go.
Practical.
Wrapped in a cheesecloth and thrown in a hole. There you go.
One of our many Suka failures. There you go. That would work. So that's what we've got for today's cup. I hope that this brought a different perspective to you today. I know that it did for me. We take life way too seriously.
We do.
Mark Twain, he said, never take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive. He was a wise man. I don't
Yes.
agree with everything, but he was just a hoot. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, if you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, the cryptids,
The dead, the undead.
yeah, if you've got regional, family, local myths, legends, if you know of
Big feet.
yeah, I said that was cryptids. If you know of
to be
any
specific.
really cool or unusual obituaries, any of those things, just go ahead and share those at cupofcoffeewithscream
Tell
at
us your-
gmail.com.
Tell us your funeral stories.
Yeah.
Were they tragic? Were they funny? What happened?
Oh,
Was there
God.
fights?
They're there for a while, and it's like there are certain people you cannot be around at a funeral because it's that.
Like you and Elijah?
Yes, it is that horrible when you're not supposed to laugh. It makes it worse. And so you make, these terrible noises trying to suppress the laughter, which makes it worse. And so, yeah, I try not to be around those people because,
Yeah.
they always blame me. It doesn't matter who starts it or whatever. I just apparently look guilty or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Oldest kid is, because he is so droll, and he will say things that are absolutely hilarious and take you off guard.
In the
and it's
most
just like,
in the most deadpan of
Yeah.
voices too,
Absolutely.
which just makes it even funnier.
Yeah, it just...
Hi, Elijah.
Anyhow, thank you for sharing part of your day with us. Thank you very much for sharing coffee. And know that you're very loved.
Yeah.
And every day, make every day count, because it does. It's what we've got. We'll see you on the next cup.
Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe. Most important out of all. Subscribe.
Oh, share the mirth with somebody.
Subscribe.
All right. Bye.
Subscribe.